entering the town of Twin Peaks.
There was a fish in the percolator.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You are witnessing a front three-quarter view of two adults sharing a tender moment.
It is happening again.
Take another look, Sonny. It's gonna happen again.
What kind of fantastic trees have you got growing around here?
I'm gonna turn it upside down.
Sheriff, we got a lot to talk about.
Sheriff, we've got a lot to talk about.
Yes, as always, we do.
As always. So, if you're joining us, this is Welcome to Twin Peaks, or the Hanna's Twin Peaks Rewatch Watch Along podcast. When we made it another week, we're still here.
We are still here, still enjoying the show, despite some interesting decisions that came up here.
Well, let me just jump right into where we are. So, this is Season 2, Episode 10. Name, Dispute Between Brothers, written by Tricia Brock and directed by Tina Rathborne. I had to look her up because I wasn't really sure. It's kind of a journeywoman director. But the one famous one I saw that was most recent was that she directed Dummy, which earned Anna Kendrick an Emmy. And then I read more about Dummy. So it was written by Cody Heller, about her finding out her partner, Dan Harmon, yes, the Dan Harmon, having a sex doll. And it was written to be a full movie, but then this was when Quibi was big. Lol, LMAO.
What the fuck is a Quibi?
You don't remember Quibi? Wow, you're so offline.
I literally don't.
Quibi was the next TV, but they were all like, it was basically trying to turn TV into reels. And so the movie was now made into a 10-episode, 10-minute long TV show. So every episode was 10 minutes long.
Oh.
Yeah, not good. Quibi crashed and burned, flash in the pan. But I just thought that was really funny. She's been all over the place. I saw like an Ugly Betty episode, all kinds of stuff. But that was one that I saw, and I didn't realize Anna Kendrick won a Emmy for it.
Good for her.
Yeah. Interesting, though. And this episode aired December 8th, 1990, to 11.1 million viewers, down from 12.4.
I have a feeling after this episode, the views are going to go down more.
We will see it. So we'll also be covering Season 2, Episode 11, named Masked Ball, written by Barry Pullman and directed by Duwayne Dunham, which we've seen him, I think both of them have been a part of the show before, so no interesting facts about them. This aired December 15th, 1990, with 12.1 million, up from the 1.1. So a million more people watched this week.
Okay, wait. I got my episodes confused. I think after 11, it's going to go down.
We will see.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, so fun facts. This, as we know, episode 11 was where we introduced Denise Bryson, who was played by David Duchovny. I learned that this character was originally supposed to be played by James Spader.
Oh.
Which is really interesting, especially James Spader, much younger at the time.
Yeah.
And pretty... I mean, he's just an interesting guy, but I guess he also helped create this character a little bit, but then had a scheduling conflict.
Cool.
But I love that David Duchovny got cast in this, especially if people were coming off of like X-Files.
Yeah,
it is fun. So entertaining and funny in a great way, and I love the character of Denise. But David Duchovny crushes it, to be honest.
I feel like I haven't seen David Duchovny in much, but everything I've seen him in is so opposite of Denise.
Oh,
so
yes.
I quite like that is what ended up happening with the casting. But I'm trying to think how I think James Spader would be. I like James Spader.
You have to look like a younger James Spader because definitely a little more, I don't want to say he's like effeminate looking, but...
Like androgynous?
Yeah, a little more androgynous.
I mean, who cares either?
No, but it's just maybe makes sense why. But David Duchovny crushes this
David
role.
Duchovny is so interesting. Like, X-Files, well, that's still on. Before X-Files, maybe overlapping. He's doing Twin Peaks. Mm-hmm. And then after does Californication is what I think of him as. Oh,
that's funny. Yes, yeah, I don't even know that show.
Very different.
Well, I want to talk more about Denise, so why don't I
just need to say I love his name. David Duchovny is such a cool...
It's fantastic. It's like David Dastmalchian. Yeah. Two Davids.
Incredible
DD names.
We love alliteration.
So let me get through these plots because I want to talk about Denise and a lot of stuff going on at this time of the season. So, Okay, so episode 10, Cooper tells a distraught Sarah that Leland was a victim of dark forces and was not responsible for his crimes. Debatable. Donna tells Ed that, but I kind of get why he does that.
Yeah, I get it.
Donna tells Ed that James blames himself for everything that has happened. Twin Peaks Mayor Duwayne Milford feuds with his brother, Dougie Milford, over Dougie marrying a young woman, Lena Budding. With Nadine still believing herself to be a teenager, Dr. Jacoby persuades the high school administration to admit her as a student. Bobby plans to blackmail Ben Horn using Leo's tape to provide to provide for him and Shelley. Catherine tells Truman that her life was saved after the fire by an angel. With the murder solved, Cooper prepares to leave Twin Peaks, but FBI agent Roger Hardy arrives and informs him that he has been suspended for his illegal raid on One-Eyed Jack's 2 illegal raids, actually, while a Canadian officer reveals that cocaine is missing from Jack's, prompting the DEA to become involved. Ernie is hired by Jean to raise $125,000 by selling cocaine, while the Canadian officer, who's actually working for Jean, plots to plant cocaine in Cooper's car. On a camping trip with Cooper, Major Briggs begins talking about a mysterious white lodge and black lodge before a bright light flashes and Major Briggs vanishes out of thin air.
Yeah, see, after that episode, I understand views going up because people are like, oh my God, what happened?
What's going on
I
next?
feel like 11 has some dumber shit
let's
again.
talk about it. So Gordon warns Cooper that DEA is sending Dennis Bryson, a friend of Cooper's, to investigate the missing cocaine. Mm-hmm. Cooper maintains his innocence, riding his motorcycle. Oh, wow, sorry. Let me put a period there. Cooper maintains his innocence, period. Riding his motorcycle on the open road, James meets a woman named Evelyn Marsh at a bar. She hires him to fix her husband's car. Trying to impress Lucy, Dick and Andy mentor an orphan named Little Nicky. Hawk reveals that the White Lodge is a mythical place where spirits reside, and that those traveling there must first pass through its counterpart, the Black Lodge, where the souls of those with imperfect courage will be annihilated by their shadow selves. Dennis, who's actually now Denise, arrives in Twin Peaks and starts her investigation. Josie reveals to Truman that she worked for a man in Hong Kong named Thomas Eckert, who she believes to be responsible for her husband's death, and that Eckert wants her back. Andrew Packard, Josie's husband, is revealed to actually be alive and has been alive this whole time, and is scheming with Catherine to use Josie as bait for Eckert. Cooper receives a letter from Earl, his old partner, containing a chess move and a cassette tape saying, "The king must die." So, that was a lot.
Yeah, your illiteracy is showing.
I was, it's actually just, we talked about so much happening in previous episodes. Episode 11 is every single person gets one sentence because every person has a plot in a different direction.
It's a lot. A lot of my notes, I feel like I'm ignoring certain storylines because I'm like, my brain can't process everything happening right now.
I'm going to get over just 2 general thoughts quickly, and then then I'll let you talk. So
We'll just start with one.
One is that we are at the point where it's clear that the Mark Frost, David Lynch, if they're still even really at the helm, don't really know where to go. And I mean, it probably is also on all of the other writers as well, but they've been forced to reveal their mystery early. So they have a lot of characters and a lot of threads, but they don't really know which ones they like yet. So they threw everything at the wall. And that's why episode 11 is kind of a mess.
Yeah, no, I agree. I see that completely. I feel like some of the directions work really well, and some of them I don't give a flying fuck about. So I think Cooper being suspended is really smart.
Because he would have to leave.
It keeps him in town. So it's very smart. It lets us meet other characters related to his past that are coming in for that investigation. It allows him to stay and continue building the relationships with people there. I also think the Briggs disappearance works really well if they stick the landing, which I'm nervous about. But if they stick the landing, I think that's pretty genius, and I love that. I like it so far. I'm
not going to tell you one way or the other. I'm laughing because I like Briggs. So
yeah, I know you love Briggs. That's your boy.
That is my boy.
But then there are these storylines I don't give a shit about. Like the wedding, who cares? And Matt was like, you might need to care about these characters a little bit. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't care about these people.
The wedding's fine.
Go away.
That plot's not going to last too long.
Okay, well, I don't care about that.
It gets a little silly, but...
Yeah, I don't care about them. Lil Nicky, Dick, and Andy, I think is a little more tolerable because it's kind of sweet. Like, Andy is shown to be, like, he has dad in him. Like, he's so sweet, and he's better with Nicky than Dick is.
Yeah, but Nicky's a jerk, too.
Nicky is a jerk. It's literally Charlie wants an abortion, and then
Sunny,
and Always Sunny, and he ends up...
he adopts that kid. The kid gets drunk, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's his kid. He thinks it's his kid, but it's not actually his kid. And the kid's like a huge asshole, and Charlie doesn't know how to like deal with it because the kid's terrible.
I'm drunk. You're not drunk.
And then the kid throws up. Yeah. It's like that. That's what it feels like. When I was
talking about things getting a little Nickelodeon, this plot is very Drake and Josh to me.
2 boys and a baby.
Can I say, though, upon rewatch, I am enjoying some of these Dahmer plots way more because I'm just enjoying them for what they are and laughing.
Yeah.
Especially,
Jason Seaman said that to our friendo who's watched the show before and who encouraged Matt to watch it to begin with.
He was the original disciple.
Yes.
I've taken his place as the new Twin Peaks missionary. And now you will be on that next.
I texted him and I was like, this Nadine being super strong and going back to high school thing is so fucking annoying. And he said that on rewatch, he finds it much funnier and like enjoyable.
Was like howling at it actually. And you're sitting there like kind of grumpy at the TV and I'm laughing my ass off. I think it's way funnier, yes, this time around.
Who the fuck? The other storylines make logical sense to me, at least in some way, shape, or form. Who the fuck? Is all I can say. I don't get who thought that this was...
Oh, with the Nadine stuff?
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like the seeds are planted in season 1 with how strong she is.
I know, but it's crazy.
It is.
Like, there's that scene of her, like, flipping the boy, and he just, like, flips in air a million times. That's so stupid. I, like, can suspend disbelief for a lot of things, and I can't for the Nadine storyline.
You know what? Understandable. You can complain about it. I understand. I'm just enjoying it for what it is this time. Fair. I think also part of it is because we saw that Ed was about to leave Nadine and, like, be happy with Norma.
I think that also makes it so tough.
But that's kind of part of it is it's messing up their happiness, and I think that's supposed to be a little bit of what it does. But keep watching because I think you will learn to like this one more.
Okay.
Again, I had some issues with it, and there's plenty of plots I do have issues with, but I'm enjoying it. So the wedding stuff is annoying. I agree.
Yeah, I simply don't care. I'm fine if it disappears.
But I'm gonna laugh my ass off at the Little Nicky stuff and the Nadine stuff. All right, any other plots you want to talk about?
No, the rest of it that I felt like bringing up, I think will show up within further discussion.
Okay. Well, those are my general thoughts, other than Denise, but I know you want to talk about Denise later.
Yeah.
Okay, I will save it.
I have Denise as a character vibe check.
Okay, great. Well, then we can go on a rant about Denise then.
Very shortly.
A good rant.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Special Agent Cooper on the case. All right, Sheriff, what are some moments you think are going to matter later? There's a lot of moments
there are a lot of moments, so I tried to pick the 3 biggest moments. So Briggs disappearing. Duh. Cooper being suspended and the resulting introduction of Denise. And then Josie and Andrew are back and alive.
That's a plot that annoyed me the first time. I was like, come on, like this dude's alive. But that is the most soap opera thing of all time. It's so you watch Jane the Virgin. It's just like that.
It's literally Michael being alive that whole time.
It's crazy. I'm sure they'd never planned on him being alive. And then it was like, well, we got to do something.
Yeah.
I wanted to shout out the Coop being suspended because I defended Bob Iger the other day where I was like, you know what? Like, I get why he pushed for it to be revealed sooner, and like I'm happy it happened because then without that we wouldn't get Firewalk with Me or The Return. But when I think about the fact that they just didn't, Coop is your main character that everyone loves, and by ending the case, Coop would need to leave now. It feels like nobody thought about that, and then like Lynch and Mark Frost did what they could.
Yeah.
Which was, just have him get suspended, which, I had been saying a bunch. My man's going across Canadian lines.
Yeah, but you also were saying that after you already knew what happened. So.
I forgot. No, I didn't forget. But I did want to point out those things, so.
Yeah, I mean...
He's also not actually being in trouble for that. He's in trouble for the cocaine that's missing.
That's the bigger issue, yeah.
And
but he says it himself that he's made poor decisions before the suspension.
Yes.
So it's not like the seeds aren't planted in some way, shape, or form. But
we also learned someone he loved got killed in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
He was assigned they were a witness. He was assigned to protect her. He fell in love with her and wasn't there to save her. Because he was in love with her, he wasn't able to properly protect her.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets stabbed in Pittsburgh.
Yes, and she died in his arms. Yeah. And he got injured and his partner lost his mind.
Yes, that's Wyndham Earle.
Yeah. And that's the scene that ends with her saying, God, there's only one problem with you. You're perfect.
I forgot that was in this episode. That was Audrey saying that to him.
Oh shit, she's got bars.
Yeah, there's still this show always has bars.
So hard.
Okay,
so good.
So I like all those moments that you think are going to matter. And those are some plots that we will be seeing as we move forward.
I'm sure, I'm certain.
So let's do some vibe checks.
Okay, so Denise, 10 out of 10, perfect, no notes.
I had Denise 1 million out of 10.
Valid.
At my highest. I love this character so much.
I really liked the way that they wrote this character. I think there is, a lot of anxiety in this day and age, probably forever, with the representation of trans folks in media. And I think that the fact that Denise is introduced and Coop, and this is obviously like a compliment to how they wrote his character as well, the fact that he is just immediately, that he's not misgendering.
Well, immediately is like,
He's
okay,
immediately
Denise.
using the right name and pronouns.
He messes up once, and then Denise corrects him, and then he just goes, sorry, and then fixes it. And I was like, holy shit.
And that
like,
felt really
refreshing
real
for
and
1990.
refreshing. Yeah. Like, you just don't see that.
It's almost 30 years old.
Yeah.
And it's worse now.
I know, it's really sad that it's worse now.
Shout out our boy.
Shout
Shout out David. Shout out Mark Frost.
This is how it should be. This is how it should be in real life. This is just how it should be, where this person says, this is actually how I identify and how I feel, and you go, okay.
And I love it. And Coop is immediately the only, even all the Backtown country cops are just like, well, they seem like they're good at their job. The only one that's a little sus is Hawk. But then even Hawk compliments her. So
yeah.
Andy dances with her at the wedding, which was adorable.
I loved that moment. It was so cute. And I just feel like Denise kind of just strikes you as a good person. Like, they just...
If Coop likes him.
She seems really...
I said, not her.
Yeah.
Like them, was what I was saying.
I know what you meant, but I'm glad that you...
correct myself. If Coop likes her...
Yeah, exactly. No, I think Cooper, for the most part, is a good judge of character. There's been a few times where I'm like, buddy. But for the most part, is a good judge of character. So obviously. And before Denise even shows up, when, they're being labeled as Dennis, he's like, Dennis is a good person. Good people.
Yeah, it says that to Sheriff Truman.
So then
Straight shooter.
When Denise, so when it's Denise, we already have like this, they're a good person. They're going to be good at their job. And then everything that comes up in their conversations just feels really like kind and human and understanding and reasonable. Like,
what I really like is that Denise is not portrayed as a joke.
No.
There are jokes, but Denise is not the joke.
Yeah. Denise isn't like the butt of the joke.
Now I actually would say how do I put it? It's not that we go too far with representation, but when we have a trans character in something, that's the only thing they can be, is trans, right? Denise is trans. You get over it. Denise is also a badass DEA agent in this. Like, there is more to her character than just like gender identity.
Yeah.
And I think that's refreshing as well. And I wrote a bunch where I was just like, this is crazy. Like, Hawk was the only one that was sus, and then immediately does misgender, but says, well, it's a good color for him. And I was like, that's so cute, Hawk.
Yeah.
And then, I just wanted to shout it out. And Denise has more to do, and I love this character. But that was my main thing, is to not treat a trans person as a spectacle. Like, it's David Duchovny, so that's, like, funny.
There is, like, an inherent impact of us watching it in the day and age that we're watching it, because we know who David Duchovny is, so it's kind of funny. But it's not funny in that it's a trans person. And it's funny because it's David Duchovny.
It is just, I
with
just
a
think
wig.
It's handled so well. And I've not really seen any complaints. The only one I really ever see is like, well, why don't we just cast an actual trans person as the actor? And I was like, okay, well,
I don't know
maybe,
what representation
but also
looked like at that time period.
And also it's still acting. I think it's okay for men to play women, women to play men, and everywhere in between. Like, that is acting. I understand if we can give a job to somebody that might not typically get one, then yes. I just don't always, it's fine. I understand the complaint. I think when we get representation this good in 1990, like, take that win.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to complain about it, given it was. I think if there were issues, that's something we should bring up in the show. But I also think we have to take it as what it was, a show in the early 90s.
Yeah, and I said it's better then than it is now.
I know, that's what's tough.
But that was kind of my point earlier, is like, even when someone's trying to do representation, that it gets lost because it's only about the fact that they're trans. It's never like just about that they're a person and they just exist.
I'm trying to think of examples of trans characters in media, and I'm kind of struggling to come up with very many good. Well,
write us and tell us who we're thinking. If there's any other good representations.
Can you disprove Matt's point, or do you agree with Matt's point? Let us know.
Either way, I love Denise.
Denise rocked.
I love Cooper. Cooper's such a good person.
I really liked their conversation when they were sitting at the bar.
Also about how Denise figured it out was so interesting. I loved the backstory of that. She basically had to go undercover as a trans woman and then was like, I love being in women's clothes, and like it unlocked something.
Yeah, I thought that was I found that wearing women's clothes relaxed me. And then she just kept it up for the whole investigation.
I know there was one more thing I wanted to say. When Denise was first introduced, my gut dropped a little because I was like, oh no,
like,
please.
Let the show that I was like,
please don't be transphobic. Please don't be disgusting about this. And so like the relief when the show is actually like good or as good as it can be about it, and so I was really excited. I think I told you about Denise a while back. I was like, there's a great
I'd
character.
seen Denise show up before.
And last thing I'll say, David Duchovny looks great as a woman.
David Duchovny does look great.
Yeah. So Denise is very pretty.
Yeah, you go David Duchovny.
Okay. Those are my main things on Denise. We will be talking about her more because there are more amazing moments with Denise as the show goes on.
We'll be talking about Denise more in this episode.
Okay, good.
For some of our other sections.
That was my our 10-minute talk about Denise and representation in Twin Peaks. But hell yeah, Twin Peaks. Okay, I gave the Milford brothers, a shut the fuck up out of 10 because I'm sick of their shit.
Tell them, they need to get the fuck out of here.
It's like funny, but it's a lot.
It's not funny. I don't care.
It's like a little like, and Lucy had to be disappeared for an episode because she was helping set the wedding, and I was like, just get me past this wedding.
Yeah.
So that's how it is, though. I told you, like, they got to figure out what sticks, and then once they find something that sticks, they find their footing again, and the show gets interesting. But you're gonna have to bear with them finding it.
Well, give me I don't give a shit out of 10. For the brothers.
And I also gave Evelyn a 5 out of 10. You sus as hell, girl.
Evelyn's James's new buddy.
Yeah, James's new buddy.
With the Maureen Ponderosa tooth.
What? That's so rude, because Maureen Ponderosa's in the show is fake. This woman definitely had like a dead tooth.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I didn't know. I thought it was part of...
No, I'm pretty sure that's the actress. It's okay. The show's they're almost 30 years old. Nope, it's fine. Okay. But I commented on that. But I will be
I
interested.
wouldn't even have noticed had you not commented.
I'm sorry. Well, what do you think of James's plot line so far?
I don't,
because this is a very hated part of the show. I don't really dislike it that much.
I don't care so far. Okay. Like, I have no opinion.
For our Lost Highway fans, I've told you this before, this plot line is what I guess eventually blossomed into the movie Lost Highway. So just keep watching, have fun with it.
Yeah,
think of it that way. All right, any other
I have multiple.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead.
The Canadian Mountie, 3 out of 10, not trustworthy.
Only a 3. He works for Jean. I guess it's better than working for Ben Horn, right?
So the question that is tough is he says he's undercover with Jean and the cocaine. But then, like, that's what we are told. Yeah. But then we see him with Jean and it doesn't really feel like he's undercover. It feels very genuine. So one of my questions was... Is this guy bullshitting about being undercover and he's just really a piece of shit and he's faking being a Canadian Mountie, or he is a Mountie who's also just a piece of shit?
I think he's a Mountie in his pocket, but to be honest, I don't remember.
But either way, he's low. He's not trustworthy. He's not a good dude.
Definitely.
It's a no from me. I also gave Hank a 0 out of 10. All my homies hate Hank. I hate Hank so much, it made me feel bad for Ben Horn. And I don't want to feel like that. I don't like having empathy for that guy. He's a terrible person. He ran a sex trafficking ring.
For children.
A children's sex trafficking ring. And Hank's out here making me feel bad for him? Shut up, Hank.
I'm sorry, I'm going to keep laughing because Ben Horn redemption arc incoming. Not exactly.
Okay, but like...
But that's what it feels like, right?
Well, and Hank has no problem with the sex trafficking ring. Hank's I'm in charge of the sex trafficking ring now. Me and Sean.
I don't know what they're doing because Blackie's dead. So I don't know if they got the girls up there still. Probably, though.
Probably. Let's be real. These two men suck.
Yeah.
Sean obviously sucks. All my homies hate Hank. It's bad news all around.
So Ben Horn is your new best friend.
He's not my best friend.
Friendship broken with Hank. Ben Horn, my new best friend.
Never been friends with Hank. I would never be friends with Hank. I would also never be friends
You
with
feel
Ben
bad for
Horn.
Leo, too, being in a comatose state?
I mean, it's hard not to have some empathy for someone
Whoa. Canceled.
But he's a piece of shit, so I'm like, no.
Canceled.
I would rather...
You like Ben Horn and Leo?
I
I'm
would
telling everybody.
be happier if Leo were dead. Like, I obviously... That would be easier.
Yeah.
On
Understood.
him as a person, obviously. You never
Isn't
won.
this such a fun show?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to your Ben Horn shit talk corner since we're on him.
Why did I institute this when the man finally has an arc that isn't disgusting?
Just wait.
That's what I wrote down. Like, there's nothing he does in this episode that's like particularly vile. I'm like, God damn it.
I'm going to shout him out later, but Richard Bymere,
he's so
once
good.
again, is so good that he's making you feel bad for a horrible person. When he's
looking at footage of him and Jerry as kids. It's so sweet, but it's really sad because he's so fucked up and disheveled and drunk.
The show is maybe asking you a question like, if he like repents, right, and goes against what he was doing, can he be forgiven? You know, and that's, I don't know. I'm not saying you should forgive him, and I'm not saying he should be forgiven, but I think the show is kind of hitting you with that question is like, there's at least a twinkle of not regret in his eyes, at least when he's like looking at this footage, in my mind, or that's just Richard being a really good actor.
Yeah.
So,
good to know.
but you know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel that, and I think it's not uncommon for you to start being like, I kind of like this guy, and then have to slap yourself and be like, no, child sex trafficker was raping Laura, terrible person, hates his daughter, but it's how it's shot, it's good filmmaking is what I would say. And I think this uncomfortable feeling you have to sit with is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I will say, with it starting with him and Jerry being like, what happened to us, Ben, there is a weird level of understanding I have of this character, even if I don't relate and think they're a bad person. Mm-hmm. It's uncomfortable. I think you should sit in that discomfort. That's what Lynch would want you to do.
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's talk suspects.
What are our mysteries? Who shot Cooper and what happened to Garland? Is that the two?
What happened to Garland?
Be focusing on?
Did Cooper traffic cocaine? Is Cooper going to go to jail?
Okay, obviously Cooper did not traffic fucking cocaine, so jot that down. They even say they were pinning it on him, so the Canadian Mountie and Jean. Yeah. So obviously, no.
We don't have too many, suspects.
Who shot Cooper? We have no new evidence.
You still think either Catherine or Josie, right?
Makes the most sense. Yeah. Who else would have like a rich bitch coat?
That's true. We have introduced another rich person, though, being Andrew.
It's not Andrew.
Okay.
It was a woman-sized person. A small person. Andrew's not small.
Could have been Jerry.
It could be Jerry.
At that
but
height.
I don't see it.
That's funny. I never thought about that. Rich and short. Could have been Donna.
No, it's not. She wouldn't have that coat.
Probably not. Okay, well, speaking of who shot Agent Cooper, I think we have to get into some messages from the log because that was our big question this week for all the viewers.
Yes, on our social media, we posted and asked, on your first watch, who did you suspect shot Agent Cooper? And we got a good handful of responses, so I'm going to read some of the different answers we got. Twin Peaks ACNH said, my whole family was leaning towards Ben Horn. The dark coat, gloves, and fancy gun seemed like someone with money. Which, I've said that too. I think it's someone with money, so that tracks. Creamed Corn and the Universe.
Great name.
Said Hank Jennings. In season 1, it felt like he could show up in anyone's storyline and ruin their day.
That's a good point, but I think he's too tall.
Given he returned to a world of crime after prison, I thought he could have potentially been a hired hand. But yes, we do end up with information that he was too tall. Dethroner said, 0 idea. And I love that. And then, Write It in Your Diary said Wyndham Earl. That's why I thought they brought him up at the start of the second episode.
That's a good guess, 2. Actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like their reasoning. Is like, we are introduced to this brand new character being suspicious.
We have no idea
why.
his height.
Yeah. Yep.
Is that it?
Yup, those are our answers. Do you feel like that covers
Yeah, I
a
think so.
wide
No, that's
variety
fun.
of people outside of who I've guessed?
Yep.
So
And
that's fun.
As always, if you want to be part of a message from a log, make sure you follow us and comment on our Instagram questions or give us a call. The phone number will be in the description below. And after that, I think it's time to get back to our other questions that haven't been answered.
What happened to Garland? We have literally nothing.
And who
there.
was the
We've
man,
obtained
the
nothing
shadowy
new.
man that was standing in the woods?
So before that happened, he had just asked Coop if he knew what the White Lodge was or if he'd heard of that. So part of me is like, is he somehow had some knowledge of being transported to the White Lodge? But then, like, allegedly you have to go through the Black Lodge to get to the White Lodge. And we haven't really seen if a person that's not... We don't know if a person that's not dead can go there. We don't really know anything about that at all, besides those things were named.
Other than Black Lodge bad, because we've been using it as our...
Yeah, I knew that.
Which is hilarious that it doesn't show up until, how many episodes? 19 episodes in. We haven't even mentioned the Black Lodge. I didn't realize that when we called these Cherry Pie versus Black Lodge moments.
Yeah, it's
But
okay.
now you know. Now you know the Black Lodge is if you face it with imperfect courage, you'll be annihilated by your shadow self. So
Yeah, it will utterly annihilate your soul.
incredible.
Which was like...
Great
that's
writing by
a heavy line.
great
That's
introduction by
crazy.
Hawk too.
He says, you may be fearless in this world, but there are other worlds.
I also enjoyed, he was talking about how it's like his people, and it's like he's
Yeah.
native to the land where Twin Peaks is my interpretation
It
of
also
that.
makes me like, is that a thing culturally that's not a part of the show? Like, is that just a thing with certain indigenous native tribes? Or is that just something written for the show?
I'm going to research that for you because I believe it's not called that, but I do think that is
It's rooted in something real.
but I don't think they call it the White or the Black Lodge. I believe that's a Lynch original, but I will look that up.
Because I
Put
don't...
that on your questions for me to research.
I don't want it to be like a Stephanie Meyer writing some crazy ass lore.
I don't
for...
believe it is. Okay, so you about ready to get into who you trust with your coffee?
Yeah, we're gonna have the same answer.
Do we both
Let's
have
say it on
three?
3, 2, 1.
Denise. Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
We just love Denise so much.
I just met Denise, and I'm already a fan. I also, there's nothing that anyone in these episodes did where I was like, I trust you with my life. So
Well, yeah,
Denise
Cooper always.
Exactly. So I need to mix it up, and Denise, great first impression, no issues, no notes.
Definitely.
So I don't really have anything more to
we
add
said everything we
besides
wanted to
what
say
we
about
already
Denise.
talked about. Yeah.
I would know we'll be talking about her more. Okay, who do we not trust?
Who's not invited to the coffee date?
Who's not invited to the coffee date?
Okay, I have 2, and they're kind of silly.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the first one, Wyndham Earl.
Who you haven't even seen in person yet.
He was so scary sounding on the tape, and the letters are really creepy. He feels like a serial killer sending these sketchy ass letters. So I simply am just not getting good vibes. The voice on the tape, it was a good performance. It was really unsettling. Also, Lil Nicky. He was not well behaved at that diner. I don't want him seated with me.
Untrustworthy.
Untrustworthy diner behavior. Right. It's not that I think he's... I mean, actually, I could see him throwing shit in my coffee. Yeah, he's just a kid, so it's not the same as, like, fuck this adult man that's a creep. But, Lil Nicky, you just don't get to be invited to coffee.
I am not inviting the entire country of Canada to coffee for mine. That's my least trustworthy country right now.
What the fuck? Because of the
Mountie. Jean Renault's Canadian. Jacques Renault is Canadian. Blackie lived in Canada. That's where One Eye Jacks is. Canada, you're canceled. All right.
Fair enough.
No
Cancel.
coffee. Everyone. We gotta figure out what's going on in Canada.
Cancel the whole
across
country.
that. Not even a free country apparently up there. I'm just making an American joke that didn't go over that well. If they don't fly under red, white, and blue, I don't want them. I'm pretty sure that their flags are close to that. All right. I'm fucking around. Anyway, yeah. Canada, you are not invited to coffee. I'm not sorry.
What do we think is the best performance in this episode?
Ooh, I was going to say Richard Bymere.
Ben Horn.
Ben Horn. I also think that Sherilyn Fenn as Audrey had a phenomenal 1-episode run. Or was she in both? Just her saying her deliveries are always good, and her and Cooper's moments are amazing.
Yeah.
Them dancing together at the wedding's cute as hell.
Yeah.
And then again, I said before, Denise and Andy dancing together. So and Andy's got this big old grin on his face. Yeah, it's either Ben or Audrey. Mm-hmm. Just her. What did she say? She's like, there is one thing wrong with you. You're perfect. To Agent Cooper about how he was like can't be in a relationship with her, and how she also quotes back to him his quote about all great relationships are first built on friendship.
Yeah.
And he was like, it feels good to be quoted accurately. Them together is so good. I understand why they wanted to put them together. I think it makes sense not to.
I think it makes sense not to, but like a girl can dream, I guess.
Yeah. So, okay.
Mine would be Ben Horn or Dale Cooper.
Always. Kyle MacLachlan, that's the thing is like we could shout him out every episode.
We could also shout out Ben Horn every episode.
I
He's
have
so
been.
good.
Yeah, he's
exactly.
really good. I didn't realize how good he was until this time around.
He oozes charisma.
I said he's making you feel bad for a child predator, so.
He also just looks so disheveled. Like the way
the
that
beard,
they did
the 5 o'clock shadow.
5 o'clock shadow, the outfit.
It's more like a 7 o'clock shadow at this point.
There's a lot going on there, man. You need to take care of some shit. But yeah, I think every element of that performance, but also probably the makeup department and costuming did a really great job with him in this episode and the last few. And then Kyle MacLachlan as our boy Dale Cooper is always great. I think that he got to show like a wider range of emotions maybe in these episodes with what's going on with he has a friend returning but then he also is getting, suspended. So he gets to have like a wider range there of emotional moments. And I just find his facial expressions really compelling. I really like looking at his face.
I need to say something else about Ben Horn that I keep thinking and I want your opinion on. Okay. My mom's going to laugh at this. I keep thinking that Ben Horn resembles my Uncle George. And I think it's the lankiness and like the tallness and also just some of the ways he laughs and says things. And I'm curious what you thought, if you agreed.
I don't know your Uncle George like that, bro.
You saw him follow Norton around and hang out with our dog, so.
He did do that. He's like,
Norton followed him around and he just talked to him. I don't know, something about it. Mom, you can text me if you think you agree.
We had Norton, our dog, over.
And Uncle George doesn't like dogs except
but allowed
Norton.
him to come to the Christmas party and just... I didn't see him talk to people nearly as much as I saw him talking to my dog. That was just following him around.
It was so fun.
It was so cute.
But I don't know, something about Ben Horn and something about his facial structure and length and just some of the things, the way he like laughed, I was like, I keep seeing him. So
I'm not sure.
Yep.
I don't know that guy like that.
Yeah, well, it's something weird. My mom can tell me I'm crazy and I'm wrong. Okay, that's an inside joke between a couple of us. All right, let's get into our cherry pie versus our Black Lodge moments.
Okay, I have a few cherry pie moments. I'm going to build to...
Your favorite?
My favorite.
Do you want to go? So you're going to go through all of them?
I have 3.
Okay.
Okay, so first, Log Lady really enjoying the cake at the wedding. She loved a cake. She talked about it to anyone who would listen. To
Pete, who is also listening to Milford, whatever, the brother, complaining.
Pete is so annoyed. Pete wants to go home real bad. Next... Cooper using the correct pronouns for Denise immediately, and Andy dancing with Denise.
I had the pronouns thing as my cherry pie. And also just Coop's initial reaction of being like, what's going on? And Denise goes, it's a long story. We can talk about it. Coop's like, okay, Denise. And I was like, love it.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And then the coziest for me was Truman gifting Cooper the Bookhouse Boy patch. And then Cooper tears up.
Especially when all the other bullshit's about to happen.
Yeah.
He's honorary. They voted.
Yeah, I thought that was so sweet. I teared up at him tearing up at receiving this, and then everything in his life goes to shit immediately.
Yeah? Those are your 3?
Yeah, and yours is...
I had the just Denise stuff, but I'll also shout out, we said it a couple times, Audrey and Cooper's interaction.
Yeah, that was really sweet. Cute. I liked that a lot.
Okay, I have a somewhere in between.
Of course.
Nadine talking to, I can't even think of her name right now, Donna, about Mike.
Oh my God.
Was the cutest shit, but also I'm like, Nadine, like, you're in school.
Nadine is out here like,
are you still seeing Mike?
I can balance both men.
Yeah.
My current man stays at home all day. Like, he's not
Such
out
an
and
old
about.
man. Yeah.
He's like an old man. Turned into an old man overnight. But Mike,
It is like the
Young blood.
sweetest, like little cute thing. But then I'm also like, wait, Nadine, like you're not well. And I
You're
kind of love it. So
unwell.
that's why it was my somewhere in between. It's one of those ones that makes me feel a little weird, but I love it. And I'll just run into my Black Lodge. It's got to be Garland and the Owls and the Man in the Shadows and disappearing.
Yeah.
So unsettling, amazing. Coop being like, the call of nature and running off into the woods to pee. Looking up and seeing the
one
owls.
of my coziest moments, my cherry pie moment, Coop saying the call of nature.
Their nature's calling, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah,
About having to piss in the woods.
Yeah, and he goes and pees in the woods.
He's
And he
excitement
makes a
about
joke about peeing in the woods. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's me and Matt Dalton. We always talk about how we like to pee outside.
Immediately was like, yo, that's Matt and Matt.
Yeah. Shout out
in the
Matt.
woods. When we are at our one friend's house, they only have one bathroom, and one of the Matts will use the bathroom, and the other Matt will go outside.
Or no, usually we'll just go outside together.
Or they both go outside, and they say that they left the bathroom open for the women.
Yeah, that's true. even in like 5-degree weather.
It's deranged. My Black Lodge moments, I had the Briggs disappearance, obviously, but I also had Jody discussing that dude. What's his name again?
Eckerd.
Thomas
That was
Eckerd,
really gross.
and saying he was my father, my master, my lover.
And how he's like saved her from the streets at 16.
But putting the words
Some Woody Allen shit.
my father and my lover together
Yeah.
is so
And he wants her back.
vile. Is so disgusting.
It's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah, I think my issue is I'm just like not that interested in that storyline right now. And I've also seen so much disgusting shit going on right here in Twin Peaks that it's like, well, that's not surprising. So, but I that's a good pick. All right,
It does give, like, helps you have more empathy for what
Josie.
Josie's been through. Because up until now, we don't really understand her at all and why she's made the choices that she's made.
And we still don't fully get it, but it does seem like she's been controlled this whole time. When I was
Yeah.
calling her a snake earlier in the show.
Yeah, it seems like she's experienced a lot of abuse.
We're seeing a lot of changes and growth among all the characters, and that's another thing that's cool about a show, like not a sitcom, but even like a soap opera feeling show. Like even our main character, who I'm going to talk about dying to discuss, has changed.
I was also really happy that she was actually being open with our boy, Sheriff Truman.
Definitely.
If that is accurate, I think we haven't seen her be vulnerable. So her actually opening up is big, and obviously would be big for their relationship if they continue to have one.
Definitely. All right, dying to discuss.
Yeah.
I need to talk about Cooper's growth. I mentioned it early on about how a critic wrote that this is about his like coming of age into growing into being a more well-rounded person in terms of like philosophy. And I think this was such an amazing moment where he is like, I'm not preparing a defense to the FBI agent. He's like, I stand by what I did. I didn't do anything illegal and I did no wrongdoing. And I'm concerned. He says something about I'm concerned with matters beyond the board, and how he is no longer concerned about like the law, the United States law, because he is now dealing with forces of good and evil beyond that.
Yeah.
And it's this interesting where he's become this more holistic person outside of just being an FBI agent.
Yeah.
And Twin Peaks has done that for him. So as fucked up and weird as Twin Peaks is, he has gained a new like empathy, a new care for people, and a better understanding of himself and the world around him and the forces of nature and the forces beyond this realm. And it's such a cool moment, and it makes Cooper seem like such a fucking badass when he's like, I will face them. I will face whatever the court finds with humility. And yeah, it's just so sick. It's such a cool character. So that was my big dying to discuss. And I want to talk about the religion of Twin Peaks at some point, because it's mixed in with like basically philosophy, a little bit of Christianity, a little bit of Hindu and Tibetan, a little bit of Buddhism. Like there's a lot of pull from everything. And I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So
I will just throw a few things out, a few plot points out that we didn't talk about really at all.
okay.
First, Ernie is introduced. That is Hank's previous prison buddy.
Who is married to
married to
Norma's
mom. I almost was like...
So he's
is that
Hank's
her mom?
father-in-law, sort of.
Yeah. And I don't have like a great read on him, because it seems like the way he talks about it seems like he actually wants to be a better person.
Who
It's
knows?
tough to know if he just wants that because he doesn't want to lose favor with the woman who has money. But he also is like, I don't want to do that to her.
Yeah, but then
So
he
it's hard
cheats
to
on her
read.
up at
Yeah,
One Eye Jack.
exactly.
So it's like,
So he is really hard to read. And
they say,
I don't
did you catch
know-
anything? I sure hope not. Is what he said.
Horrifying. Yeah, so I don't know what to think about that storyline. I don't have like an inherent issue with his addition or anything. I was pretty pissed at her mom for writing that fucked up review. I honestly almost read that as a Black Lodge moment. I was like, that's some
Oh, we didn't even
bitch
touch
shit.
on that. That
her-
Norma's mom was MT Wentz and gave the Double R a bad review.
That
and
is
Norma
so rude.
basically was like, get out of my life, which was a really cathartic moment, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like Norma hasn't had the ability to really tell anybody what's what. Like, she clearly has a mom that's been really difficult to deal with at best.
And her husband went to
husband
jail.
is a piece of shit.
And is a piece of shit. Yeah. I went to jail. Oh, so you can go to jail and not be a piece of shit. He went to jail and is a piece of shit. And I mean, she owns a business. She's busy. Her best employee just quit. One of her best friends. Like, yeah. So I found it cathartic, especially because I think people push the idea of like blood thicker than water so much, and like, well, they're family, you have to love them anyway. And she's like, no, you know what, Mom? Like, no, I don't want to see you. You're making my life worse. You've continued to.
It's healthy to have boundaries.
Yeah.
And you get the idea that this is not the first fucked up thing her mom did to her.
Definitely.
So, and what mother would do that?
Also, what a great twist. They were bringing up the
fun.
whole MT Wentz thing for a while.
Yeah,
and
it was a fun twist. Yeah. I also wanted to talk about Leo.
Okay.
So, first, Leo wheeling forward was creepy as fuck. And I'm really interested in where they're going with that. Like, what level of functioning or how present is Leo mentally is going to be an interesting ride. But I don't have any theories necessarily right now, besides that there's something there, obviously, if he's able to move himself around. I also think it's interesting to continue to see how that impacts Shelley and Bobby's relationship. There's a moment where she says she wants Bobby to take her out, and Bobby says, what about Leo? Like, he's so dismissive of her needs, but then he is also out here trying to
blackmail Ben
Horn so he could take care of her. It's a very interesting dichotomy.
But now
there,
Audrey's going to help him out. They were doing a little flirting.
which is also really tough.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't flirt with her. You have a beautiful woman at home. And
Got a
Audrey, you
beautiful
can
woman
do
at work
better than
too,
Bobby.
apparently. Yeah, Audrey, you could do better than Bobby.
So it's tough. It's interesting. I'm interested in where it goes, but we didn't get any like major plot points there.
All right. So let's hear some of your notes for Diane.
Okay. First question, and this you might be able to answer, I'm not sure. What exactly does Sarah know about Bob? Like, we hear the conversation that Cooper has with her, and it seems like she has some awareness of that he's like a entity that's not human, and she knows she can put it together as like that's the gray-haired guy that she saw, but like what exactly does she know and how will that progress? I already brought it up, but is the Mountie actually undercover, or is he lying about being a Mountie? What is his deal? Obviously, seems like he is a piece of poopy working along with Jean,
the third brother.
So that's interesting, and we'll see where that goes. Joking question. Why the fuck were those men letting a pregnant woman climb a ladder and then distracting her while she's on the ladder? It was so shit.
I mean, thematically, you know why.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're way too caught up in their own bullshit.
I know,
Yeah.
but I was like,
Especially
guys,
Dick
don't let
Tremaine.
your pregnant woman climb a ladder and then distract her? Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Dick Tremaine was like, fall. I don't care.
He's so stupid.
He is such an ass, but he's so funny in his
Him
asshole
just like,
way.
yeah, just stealing a child, basically, to show off is so
Crazy.
ridiculous.
What a guy.
Yeah.
And then I have a slew of Briggs-related questions.
Okay.
So, why did Briggs bring up the White Lodge? Where the fuck is Briggs? Briggs' wife says he's left and disappeared before. Where was he then? How is that at all related or comparable? There is a quote. I don't remember what character said it. Oh, it was his wife who said, the fact that you were in the woods was very significant. Well, it is with the woods and the owls, bro. Why does she know that?
You know the woods are not okay. They've been telling you that for a while.
I know, but what about
Even
the woods
name.
aren't okay?
They're going to have Ghostwood Estates. That's always freaked me out.
Yeah.
Ghostwood.
But obviously that quote leaves a lot of questions. Also, she says that Garland left notes on his bedside table, and she will look at them and let them know if there's anything or bring them in. So will those mean anything? Will there be clues about where he's gone? And then did Briggs intentionally invite Cooper because he thought something like this might happen? Or is it just them being bros?
I love all these Briggs questions. I don't know if you can carry all of them forward, though.
Yeah, just pick one or two.
Pick one. Maybe the disappeared before.
Where was he then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, bring that one forward. It kind of goes along with all the other ones, so maybe we can hit part of it before.
Okay.
All these other questions, I might have you pull another one. That's fine for now, though.
Okay. I kind of like the Briggs intentionally invite Cooper because he thought something like this might happen. I was like, oh, shit.
I think keep that one in the back of your mind, but I don't know if you need to carry it forward.
Fair enough.
Okay, any more?
Ben says that Jean Renault is a psychopath. What is their relationship? How does he really know him besides employing his brother?
To be honest, I don't remember.
That's okay.
So...
How long has Catherine known that Andrew was alive? Where was he this entire fucking time? I did have this thought that... So Catherine talks about, when she's talking to Truman, about where she was this whole time and how she was walking and guided by an angel. And she ended up at some property that they had.
Yeah, some like summer home.
She was eating tuna fish the whole time, and she left because she ran out of tuna fish. Which
also
was,
bars. I forgot about that
line.
That
was really funny, and I liked her delivery a lot there.
Piper Laurie being like the actual most esteemed person in this cast is incredible.
So
I love
funny.
this character.
So part of me is like, did she not know he was alive that whole time? And then kind of went to the property and was like, eh? But it also feels like something they'd both be in on this whole time. So, I don't know. Interesting. And then finally, where are they intending to go with the show overall right now? And do they have an end point in mind?
I want you to carry that one forward because I want, when they find it, I want to see how many episodes we have left.
Okay.
And kind of like what you think it might be. That might be what suspect of the week, what plotline matters.
Yeah.
And everyone out there who is watching for the first time or listening, I promise, stick with it. As goofy as it can be, there are going to be some rougher episodes. It's still really good. And like what it comes around to is really amazing. And the movie is amazing. And the return is some of the best TV I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So like I beg you to not drop off just because the show gets a little goofy and maybe a little boring at times. But yeah.
The questions that we had discussed previously that are still lingering is, where has Bob gone? Who or what is he in now?
You might be holding on to that one for a while.
Yeah. Where does Bob come from? Did Josie marry what's-his-face?
I like how you have, where does Bob come from? Where did Briggs go?
Yeah.
Back to back. Exactly. You should just put those back to back.
Did Josie marry, in my notes, what's-his-face? Andrew, for resources, money, land, etc.
Well, we kind of got a little bit.
Got a bit of that.
It kind of seems like Thomas probably set her up to marry him.
The thing is we don't know how honest she is.
Oh, yeah, so she said she married him to get away from...
is honest. She says that she was hoping that being with him would get her away from him. And she said when she met him, she was already afraid for her life. But part of that implies like she could have been with him for protection, or she could have been with him because she was forced to be with him and she was already afraid for her life, so she figured she had no other alternative. But ultimately, she thinks Eckerd is responsible for his death. But he's not dead. So that's interesting. So what is the relationship between Eckerd and Andrew if Andrew is alive? Which I didn't write down, but I'm asking this now.
Okay.
So that we have like an answer to, but I don't know how
hold on to it then a little
accurate
longer.
It is. Why did Harold actually have the diary? We talked about our like theories for that, in that she might not have trusted anyone else.
Yeah,
to
I think that's
it.
probably the answer. You might not get that until way later down the line if you want to delete.
Okay, whatever. Also, how long have Laura and her mother had dreams? Sort of.
Hold on to that for a
premonition-type
long,
thoughts.
long time. I like that one.
Owls, question mark. Why the owl at the end of 9?
That dreams
Why
one might
the
not get
log
answered for
lady
like
so
months,
worried?
by the way. But
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, owls, question mark, since you interrupted. Why owl at the end of episode 9? Why is the log lady so worried about the owls? What's the giant mean by the owls are not what they seem? The owls in these episodes.
The
like
owls
when
show
Briggs
up before yeah,
disappeared.
there you go.
So many question marks about owls. And you know what? I'm also suspicious of owls. I think they're very scary. I've said that on the show before. I think birds are scary. So I'm in support of whoever decided that owls were bad. And finally, is Lucy's baby Andy's?
Is Cooper going to go to prison? Federal prison?
No.
Okay.
I've decided the answer is no, so I did not need to ask the question.
Okay.
That's how it works, right?
Yes. All right. Well, let's rate these and wrap it all up. I like your questions. Again, this is a weird time where it's like, well, you can hold on to that, but you might be sitting on those for a while.
I know.
So
That's okay.
Maybe I'll try to pick some more answers that'll get answered sooner.
Okay, yeah. They're pretty lukewarm episodes for me. There are some scenes where I'm like, that's a fish in the percolator. But then there's an occasional scene like the Briggs disappearance where I'm like, damn fine cup of coffee. So it's hard to say, but probably lukewarm.
I had a very similar feeling, so I gave 8 a fine cup of coffee.
Just a cup of coffee.
Which is above a lukewarm latte.
Okay.
I think there's some really interesting things as it's more of a come down from our first arc.
Which is
really.
tough, yeah.
And I kind of have the whole Coop subplot, the Briggs subplot. I think that's interesting. 9 is really close to being a fish in the percolator. If it wasn't for Denise.
You mean 11.
11. What am I writing?
You
yeah.
said
I just said
9.
8 and 9. I meant 10 and 11. Anyway, 10, fine cup. I'm saying 11 is... It's probably a lukewarm latte, but there are definitely some moments where I'm like, my goodness, like, what are we doing here? So...
But without Denise.
Without Denise, it'd probably be
Fishin'.
closer between a fish and a lukewarm. It's probably really a lukewarm latte overall.
That's fair.
I'm curious. I don't want to give any episode of Fish in the Percolator, but I know there's going to be a couple.
I know. I don't want to do it either, but...
I because I still am enjoying. That's the thing. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're at. So anything else?
I think that's all for now.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week with a hot, fresh, damn fine cup of coffee.
Thank you for listening to Welcome to Twin Peaks, a Twin Peaks rewatch podcast from Horror Hour with the Hannas. If you liked the episode, please make sure to give us a 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app. If you'd like to call into the show, call us at 215-821-9584. You can find us on the socials at Welcome to Twin Peaks Podcast on Instagram, or at our original account at Horror Hour Hannas on TikTok. Come back soon for more Coop, coffee, and cream corn.